Our job in the military was not to comfort the enemy, it was to kill the enemy. It was to rid the other side of all their air suckers and to keep our team alive. We didn't learn a lot about comfort, and we came home with an attitude that big boys, big girls don't cry. And so comfort was a new concept to me, and I realized I needed comfort. Because see, growing up, I was told that big boys don't cry. There was one emotion I was allowed, one emotion. Big boys don't cry, they don't say they're sorry, they don't say they hurt, they don't say they can't, they don't admit mistake. Big boys only had one emotion that was allowed. Anger! Anger! The problem with anger is it tears the heart of the people closest to us. It destroys the mission. And third, we feel terrible the next day because we don't really solve any problems. We just cause more problems. What do we do with this issue? Well, the value of comfort. I found that in my life I had a cup. I had an emotional cup. And that cup would fill with the stress, the pain, the hurt of the day. And instead of having good emotions that would come outside my heart, bad emotions would come out. Sometimes emotions would hurt me. Discouragement, depression, destructive thoughts. Emotions would hurt other people. Anger, rage, resentment, jealousy, violence. When my cup got full, I realized I needed to drain the cup. There's several ways to do that. I want to talk about the one of comfort. It's the most effective. It's the least used. There are two things I don't want to do in life. One is vomit, and two is cry. We loaded so many guys on helicopters, we couldn't lift our arms anymore. I never shed a tear. I stuffed it down, and it came out in pain and anger. Anger caused by the pain. And so I learned a principle. You know, in the 11th chapter of the Gospel of John, our model, the Lord Jesus Christ, the greatest man to have ever lived, the greatest warrior, he wept in John 11. He wept over a friend that was apparently dead. He was going to raise him from the grave. He knew all that was going to happen, and yet with the two sisters of Lazarus, Jesus humbled himself and he wept. Now, what was it like for the creator of the universe, the King of Kings, the Alpha and Omega of the world, to weep with you? You know what I think it was? I think it was probably fabulous for those two women to have God care so much to weep with them. My sister-in-law lost her little grandbaby. The little grandbaby was born with problems. We prayed for the problems. We prayed for healing. For 6 months we prayed, we believed, and the baby died. And I said, Paula, how did you deal with the pain? And she said, the Lord walked with me every step of the way. Every tear, he was there. And so I learned that I needed to cry. I would come home from a tough day. Some days I got beat up. I lost clients. I lost cases. People criticized me. One time I lost a job and made some mistakes and people didn't like it. And I came home, and instead of raging with anger with my wife, I simply told her, honey, I'm hurting. I'm really hurting. And she would instinctively hug me, and I began to weep. So here's the picture. Instead of coming home and getting drunk, instead of coming home and doing something stupid, getting into a fight, it's a good day. What's good about it? Well, good morning. It's not a good morning. You know, and all the stuff I used to do. I humbled myself and admitted I had pain. And then Susie cared for my pain, and I was restored. And that weeping was a release, a normal, natural release, the way God made us to weep. It'd be like if we jammed up our system and did not allow the waste to come out of our system during the day. What happens? Our whole body gets sick. And that's what pain does when we don't weep it out. We carry that pain. The pain becomes anger. The anger becomes bitterness. And bitterness is drinking poison, expecting the other guy to die. And that bitterness will rot our lineage. It will ruin our legacy. It will kill our relationships with our kids. And so I just learned to cry. I don't do it often. Memorial Day, one of my kids called me, said, Monday's Memorial Day. Dad, I've been thinking about you and John. And it was nice. It felt good. I didn't actually weep on the phone, but I had a few tears after he hung up. It meant a lot to me. Instead of getting angry, I got healed.